Chihuahuas. Those tiny dogs with the biggest drama. You'd think being the size of a burrito would earn them some sympathy. But no, these little legends have been at the center of scandals, crimes, and courtroom chaos that could fill a true crime podcast. From celebrity mountain lions to pit bull showdowns, the Chihuahua world is one wild bark-sized tragedy. Sorry to interrupt, but not subscribing is more embarrassing than dressing your Chihuahua like a taco on Halloween. Ah, thanks. The Taco Bell Chihuahua Backlash. Ah yes, Gidget, the most famous Chihuahua to ever shill fast food. In the late 1990s, Taco Bell unleashed this tiny titan upon the world, and suddenly every commercial was punctuated by that unforgettable line. Yo quiero Taco Bell! Cute? Absolutely. Problematic? Oh, muy mucho. What was supposed to be a fun, food-selling furball turned into a PR disaster faster than you can say cultural appropriation. Critics, particularly within the Latino community, accused the campaign of reducing Mexican culture to a walking stereotype. A talking dog with a fake accent peddling tacos like a cartoon caricature. And just like that, the Chihuahua went from iconic mascot to corporate oopsie in under a decade. The ads got pulled, Taco Bell got roasted, and Gidget faded into commercial history. Forever remembered as the dog that made advertisers realize that maybe, just maybe, culture isn't a costume. Ironically, Gidget went on to have a better career than most influencers, starring in Legally Blonde 2 and living a lavish life of fame and kibble. But the legacy she left behind? A reminder that even in marketing, one can only ride the quirky ethnic mascot wave so long before it crashes headfirst into the 2000s political correctness. So yes, Gidget may have sold tacos, but she also sold out corporate America's blind spot, one bark at a time. Impulse purchases gone wrong? There's nothing quite like the early 2000s. Low-rise jeans, flip phones, and, of course, Paris Hilton carrying a trembling Chihuahua like it was a designer handbag accessory. Thanks to pop culture, the breed skyrocketed in popularity overnight. Everyone wanted a cute little purse dog to match their sequined crop top and Ugg boots. What could go wrong? Oh, just everything. See, what nobody told these fashionistas was that Chihuahuas aren't handbags. They're high-maintenance, neurotic little emperors who require socialization, patience, and the occasional emotional exorcism. People bought them like they were novelty items, then panicked when their adorable puppy turned into a yapping, jealous goblin with separation anxiety and an attitude problem. Shelters across the US, especially in California, were soon overflowing with unwanted Chihuahuas. Thousands surrendered by owners who realized they'd accidentally adopted a feisty toddler with fur. The result? A national Chihuahua crisis. Rescue centers begging people to please stop breeding them. Viral photos of 20 Chihuahuas crammed in one-bedroom apartments, and entire flights chartered to relocate them to states where demand still existed. So yes, impulse buyers learned a hard lesson. Fashion fades, responsibility doesn't. You can't accessorize empathy, and you definitely can't return a dog once it starts screaming at your reflection. In short, never buy a Chihuahua for the aesthetic unless you're also ready for the drama that comes with it. Tiny teeth of terror? Let's get one thing straight. Chihuahuas may fit in your purse, but they bite like they're auditioning for Jaws 5, the mini menace. Studies have shown that Chihuahuas bite more frequently than many dangerous breeds, especially during vet visits and grooming sessions. Basically, they treat anyone with latex gloves like the final boss in a video game. This isn't because they're evil, it's because they're terrified. Fear-based aggression runs deep in the Chihuahua genome, often worsened by owners who think training is optional because, look how tiny. But size doesn't negate rage. In fact, being small just makes them more determined to prove they're not a squeaky toy with anxiety. Veterinarians confirm that Chihuahuas are among the most likely to snap, bark, or attempt to remove your finger out of sheer panic. And yet, because they're small, people laugh it off. Oh, he's just scared. Right, but if a German Shepherd did that, there'd be a police report and a news segment. In truth, Chihuahuas need socialization and calm handling like any other breed. Without it, you get a 4-pound tornado of insecurity and dental fury. Forget ankle biters. These dogs are emotional landmines with adorable sweaters. Anger issues in 4 pounds. The Chihuahua, proof that you don't need size to have attitude. They're like living embodiments of "do you know who I am?" energy. These tiny titans of rage have earned their reputation for aggression. Nipping, growling, guarding their humans like mob bosses. The term small dog syndrome might as well have been invented by a Chihuahua's therapist. The science backs it up. Behavior studies consistently rank Chihuahuas among the most aggressive breeds toward both humans and other dogs. Why? Because they've figured out that everyone underestimates them. If your whole life was spent being scooped up, cooed at, and treated like an accessory, you'd have trust issues too. Add inconsistent training and a nervous system that runs on caffeine and adrenaline, and you've got a recipe for chaos. Owners often enable it. "Oh, he's just feisty." Translation: he's a gremlin with boundary issues. They'd never tolerate that behavior in a larger breed, but because this one fits in a hoodie pocket, it's somehow cute. The irony beneath all that snarl is a dog that just needs structure, confidence, and maybe fewer sequined outfits. Give them boundaries and they'll chill. But until then, every visitor is just one squeak toy away from a full-blown Chihuahua tantrum. The wobbly kneecap saga? Here's something less funny. Chihuahua's knees are basically built out of hope and cartilage confetti. The breed is notoriously prone to patellar luxation, a fancy vet term meaning kneecap goes wandering. One minute they're strutting proudly, the next they're limping like they just finished a marathon they didn't sign up for. It's a genetic condition common in small breeds, but Chihuahuas lead the league. Their delicate skeletons can't always handle their own dramatic energy levels. Every Zoomy risks a kneecap saying, "You know what? I'm out." Over time, that means chronic pain, arthritis, and expensive surgeries that could bankrupt even the most loving owner. What's worse, some breeders ignore the issue entirely, prioritizing looks, tiny legs, big eyes, and all over sound structure. It's like designing a sports car with a wobbly wheel because it looks cute. Many dogs cope for years, occasionally skipping or hopping, but left untreated, it can become debilitating. So while your Chihuahua may act like they're ready to take on the world, their joints are silently begging for bubble wrap. Regular vet checks, healthy weight, and avoiding Olympic-level furniture jumps can make all the difference. Because no matter how fierce they act, they're still built like the canine equivalent of a Fabergé egg. The big head problem. If you've ever seen a Chihuahua puppy and thought, "that head looks a little extra," congratulations, you've spotted one of their biggest health risks, literally. The breed's signature dome-shaped skull isn't just a fashion statement, it's a structural liability. Many Chihuahuas suffer from hydrocephalus, a condition where cerebrospinal fluid builds up in the brain, causing pressure, seizures, and that unmistakably enlarged forehead. It's not cute. It's medical tragedy disguised as Hydrocephalus can cause neurological symptoms like head tilting, unsteady walking, and staring into space like they're seeing ghosts, or rethinking their life choices. Severe cases are fatal or require lifelong management. Turns out, this condition is largely the result of selective breeding for applehead Chihuahuas, the ones prized for having exaggeratedly round skulls and bulging eyes. Basically, humans looked at a regular Chihuahua and said, "needs more cartoonish suffering." While hydrocephalus can sometimes occur naturally, breeding for extreme features only increases the odds. It's a heartbreaking example of how aesthetics can sabotage health. Behind those oversized puppy eyes may be a dog struggling with pain and disorientation, not attitude. So next time someone brags about their teacup applehead Chihuahua, maybe remind them that nature didn't design dogs for decorative purposes. The collapse heard round the throat. You know that cute little snorting sound Chihuahuas make? Yeah, that might actually be them struggling to breathe. Welcome to tracheal collapse, the most tragically common soundtrack of small dog life. Their windpipes, made of fragile cartilage, can weaken over time, narrowing the airway and turning simple tasks like barking, running, or existing into an asthmatic symphony. It starts with coughing, that dry goose honk sound owners mistake for something minor, and can progress to wheezing, gagging, or fainting. And since Chihuahuas are dramatic by default, many owners don't realize it's a real health issue until it's severe. The causes range from genetics to obesity to, you guessed it, overzealous leash tugs on delicate necks. That's why vets constantly beg small dog owners to use harnesses instead of collars. But does everyone listen? Of course not. Some people still think yanking a Chihuahua on a rhinestone leash is training. Treatment involves weight management, medication, and sometimes surgery. It's a chronic condition, but with care, most dogs can still live comfortably. The lesson here, underneath all that sass, is a respiratory system held together by optimism. So maybe ease up on the shouting matches and give those tiny lungs a break. The rotting smile crisis. Ah yes, the Chihuahua grin, adorable from afar, terrifying up close. Behind those tiny teeth lies one of the biggest health disasters in the toy dog world: dental disease. These dogs have more plaque buildup than a high school trophy case, thanks to their comically small jaws crammed with too many teeth. It's like trying to fit a full piano keyboard into a lunchbox. Because of this overcrowding, food and bacteria throw a non-stop party between their teeth, leading to gum disease, infections, and retained baby teeth that refuse to move out. The result? Bad breath that could peel paint off walls, and worse, bacteria spreading through the bloodstream, harming the liver, kidneys, and heart. And here's the kicker. Most owners think brushing a dog's teeth is extra. It's not. It's survival. Chihuahuas need dental care like influencers need Wi-Fi. Skip it, and you're basically letting your dog slow roast from the inside out. So yes, next time you smell something foul and your Chihuahua smiles innocently, don't blame the trash can. Blame the mouth. Tiny dog, big dental drama. Heartbreak Hotel. Chihuahuas may look invincible when they're barking at shadows, but inside that pint-sized chest beats a very fragile heart. Literally. This breed is genetically prone to heart conditions like mitral valve disease and murmurs, which can quietly progress into full-blown heart failure. The #1 cause of death for Chihuahuas. Basically, while they're busy shouting at mailmen and vacuum cleaners, their ticker is waving a little white flag. Owners often miss the early signs: faint coughing, fatigue, or funny breathing. By the time they realize something's wrong, their dog's heart is working harder than a barista on Monday morning. It's tragic because it's preventable, with regular vet checks, healthy diets, and keeping weight in check. But people often mistake panting for cute little noises instead of early warning signs. Newsflash: when your Chihuahua sounds like a leaky accordion, it's not normal. The irony? For a breed known for boundless energy, their biggest weakness is the one thing they can't bark their way out of: their own heart. The mini muffin epidemic. If you've ever seen a round Chihuahua wobbling on toothpick legs, congratulations. You've witnessed the obesity epidemic in action. These dogs are supposed to weigh about 5 pounds, not resemble a furry potato with opinions. Owners love to spoil them. Just one more treat, he's so small. Which is exactly why little Taco now breathes like a pug and has a neck roll. The problem isn't just vanity. Obesity in Chihuahuas leads to joint pain, diabetes, heart problems, and tracheal collapse. That's right. Your overfed gremlin's snacks are literally crushing his own windpipe. Because of their small size, even 1 extra pound is a big deal. That's like a human gaining 40. Yet many owners think chubby equals cute. It doesn't. It equals vet bills. So maybe skip the table scraps and go for a walk instead. Your dog doesn't need half your cheeseburger. He needs to see his ribs again. Love doesn't mean feeding them into oblivion. Eyes wide open. Those big, soulful Chihuahua eyes might melt hearts, but they're also fragile little soap bubbles of sadness. Their bulging eyeballs, courtesy of selective breeding, are prone to every condition imaginable. dry eye, cataracts, glaucoma, and scratches from simply existing too enthusiastically. One wrong jump off the couch and boom, eye injury. A little dust in the wind, eye infection. Blink too hard? Congratulations, you just need another vet visit. Their eyes are basically the biological equivalent of living without phone insurance. Chihuahuas are particularly prone to proptosis, where the eye literally pops out of the socket. Yes, that's a thing. It's not common, but with heads that big and sockets that shallow, it's always a risk. Constant care, drops, wipes, checkups, is essential to prevent blindness. But hey, at least they can give you the judging you stare from across the room in 4K clarity until glaucoma strikes. The Backbreaker Blues. With spines about as sturdy as spaghetti, Chihuahuas are no strangers to intervertebral disc disease, or IVDD. This painful condition occurs when the discs between their vertebrae bulge or rupture, pressing on the spinal cord and sometimes leading to paralysis. It often starts subtly, a little stiffness, a wince when picked up, but can escalate fast into total immobility. One wrong jump off the couch, and suddenly your tiny daredevil needs physical therapy or a custom wheelchair. Owners often underestimate it because he's small, he can't hurt himself. Spoiler, he absolutely can. That's like saying toddlers can't fall off furniture. Chihuahua's delicate build makes them extra vulnerable, and their fearless attitude doesn't help. Fortunately, treatment exists. Rest, meds, and in severe cases, surgery. But prevention is key. No high jumps, no wrestling matches with the Great Dane, and maybe carry them like the royalty they think they are. Low blood sugar, high drama. Few things are as scary, or dramatic, as a hypoglycemia episode in a Chihuahua puppy. One minute, they're sprinting laps around the room. The next, they're shaking, collapsing, or seizing from dangerously low blood sugar. Tiny dogs burn energy faster than gossip spreads online, and without steady fuel, they crash hard. This is especially common in puppies or underweight adults with high metabolisms. Skip meals, stress, or even too much playtime can trigger an attack. Owners often panic, and rightfully so, because it looks like a full medical emergency, and sometimes it is. Luckily, it's treatable. A dab of sugar water or honey can stabilize them quickly. But repeated episodes can be life-threatening, so balanced feeding schedules are crucial. So yes, your Chihuahua might act like an adrenaline junkie, but underneath that sass is a metabolism that runs like an over-caffeinated hamster. Handle with snacks. The shelter shuffle. And finally, the saddest truth of all. Chihuahuas, once the darlings of pop culture and purse carriers of the early 2000s, are now flooding animal shelters. Overbreeding, impulse buying, and Hollywood hype have created a crisis. Everyone wanted a taco dog, but few realized they were signing up for a lifetime of vet bills and emotional fireworks. In some US shelters, Chihuahuas make up the second highest euthanasia rate, right behind pit bulls. Backyard breeders pump them out for quick cash, while owners surrender them once they realize their cute handbag dog barks, bites, and occasionally poops in revenge. The result? Thousands of tiny dogs abandoned every year because of human irresponsibility. Rescue groups do what they can, but the demand never stops. So the next time someone says they want a Chihuahua because they're easy, remind them they're loud, fragile, high maintenance, and absolutely not accessories. They deserve homes, not handbags. The doggone disaster. Yes, PETA, the group that claims to save animals by not letting them live. In 2014, they went full villain arc when they seized Maya, a perfectly healthy Chihuahua belonging to a 9-year-old girl in Virginia, and euthanized her faster than you can say hypocrisy. Apparently, ethical treatment now includes breaking into a mobile home park, kidnapping a family pet, and playing God. Someone at HQ must have mistaken adoption for annihilation. The backlash was immediate. Lawsuits, outrage, and a collective "what the actual bark" from every pet lover on the internet. PETA quietly forked over $49,000 in settlement money, which is basically hush money for "oops, we deleted your dog." Their excuse? Human error. Yeah, because nothing says compassionate activism like accidentally euthanizing a little girl's best friend. This scandal shredded PETA's credibility like a chew toy in a pit bull convention. They've always been controversial, but Maya's case turned public skepticism into full-blown disgust. You can campaign against fur all you want, but when your organization literally kills the animals it's supposed to protect, maybe it's time to rename yourself People Eliminating Tiny Animals. Chunky's Revenge, the Chihuahua who shook the internet. 2016 gave us a horror story that somehow involved both tragedy and a tiny dog named Chunky. In Kent, UK, 4 teenagers tortured a Chihuahua, set him on fire, and left him for dead. Because apparently, British youth decided human decency was optional. Miraculously, Chunky survived, proving he was built of equal parts fury and spite. The public went ballistic. A petition demanding lifetime bans for animal abusers hit nearly 500,000 signatures. That's more outrage than most political scandals ever get. The culprits were banned from owning pets for life, though many felt being yeeted off the planet would have been a more appropriate punishment. The case exposed just how broken animal cruelty laws can be. A literal Chihuahua had to become a symbol of reform because people couldn't believe such light sentencing existed. Chunky's recovery became internet legend. He lost an eye, endured burns, and still wagged his tail, probably plotting his memoir titled Still Standing: One Dog's Journey from Hell and Back. If this story doesn't make you cry and want to punch drywall, you might be the kind of person who microwaves fish in an office kitchen. Chunky became more than a dog. He became the poster pup for why humanity needs therapy and stricter animal laws. The breeder from hell. If you ever wondered what happens when bad genetics meet worse ethics, look no further than the 2004 California Chihuahua breeding scandal. One woman decided to play Dr. Frankenstein with dogs, producing so many inbred, unstable pups that they literally turned on each other. This wasn't a kennel. It was the Purge, Chihuahua edition. The conditions were a nightmare. The dogs were malnourished, filthy, and so mentally unhinged that aggression became the norm. When rescuers arrived, they found scenes straight out of a horror movie. Cages stacked, animals trembling, and a handful already dead from fights. The breeder was convicted of animal abuse, and many of the surviving dogs had to be euthanized due to extreme trauma. This case blew the lid off the dark side of backyard breeding, where profit trumps compassion and pedigree is just code for playing genetic roulette. The breeder claimed she was overwhelmed, which is a fancy way of saying, I created chaos and hoped no one would notice. In the end, it's a grim reminder that Chihuahuas might be cute, but they're not self-cleaning collectibles. They're living creatures, not discount accessories for people with delusions of grandeur and zero responsibility. Thanks to this woman, designer dog culture got exposed for what it really is: exploitation with a side of madness. Hollywood Hills Hunger Games. Only in Los Angeles could a celebrity mountain lion make national news for snacking on a Chihuahua. In 2022, the legendary P-22, the wildcat who ruled Griffith Park like a furry mob boss, attacked and killed Piper, a leashed Chihuahua out for a walk in the Hollywood Hills. Somewhere, David Attenborough sighed. And here we see nature ignoring your suburban property lines. P-22 was beloved in LA. Murals, merch, memes. But that goodwill took a hit after the Piper incident. Suddenly, the city was divided between Save P-22 and That's it, he's crossed the line. Wildlife experts reminded everyone that, shocker, mountain lions hunt things smaller than them. Piper just happened to fit the menu. The event reignited debates over urban wildlife management. People want to live next to nature, until nature eats their purse dog. It's the eternal LA paradox. Humans build McMansions in a lion's backyard, then act shocked when the lion doesn't respect the HOA rules. Tragically, P-22 was later euthanized due to injuries and illness, ending his Hollywood saga. Still, the story remains a harsh lesson. If you're walking a Chihuahua in predator territory, maybe skip the off-the-beaten-path vibe. The hills may have eyes, but they also have teeth. Doorbell of Doom. If you thought your doorbell camera was just for catching porch pirates, think again. In 2023, a Florida woman watched in horror as her 8-year-old Chihuahua, Ace, was mauled to death by a large unleashed dog, all in chilling real time courtesy of her Ring camera. Because Florida doesn't just do tragedy, it does live stream tragedy. The video captured Ace playing innocently in his own front yard before chaos erupted. A huge dog apparently auditioning for Cujo. The sequel sprinted in, attacked, and killed him while the owner screamed helplessly through her phone. The attacking dog was later euthanized, but the emotional damage? Permanent. It's the kind of heartbreak that makes you want to bubble wrap every small animal within a 5-mile radius. This case reignited fury over leash enforcement and pet owner accountability. Because if you can't control your dog, maybe it shouldn't be roaming around like it owns the ZIP code. Even animal control officials called it preventable, which is bureaucratic speak for you had one job. Ace's story is a gut punch to every pet owner who's ever trusted that their yard was safe. It's a reminder that sometimes tragedy doesn't sneak in the back door. It walks right up to the front, smiles for the camera, and wrecks your world in 4K. Chelsea the Chaos Chihuahua. Finally, some balance in the Chihuahua Chronicles. This time, the Chihuahua was the menace. Meet Chelsea, an 8-inch tall UK terror who decided that rules, humans, and sanity no longer apply. In 2016, this pint-sized predator went on a biting spree inside a house, attacking multiple people and proving that small but mighty isn't always a compliment. Chelsea bit her owner, her owner's son, and anyone else who dared exist within striking distance. The rampage was so intense that authorities actually considered a destruction order under the UK's Dangerous Dogs Act, the same law used for pit bulls and Rottweilers. That's right, an animal that could fit in a teacup was officially declared too dangerous to live. Animal behaviorists called it fear-based aggression. But let's be honest, Chelsea was just done with everyone's nonsense. Maybe she saw one too many vacuum cleaners. Maybe she snapped after years of being dressed in glitter sweaters. Whatever the cause, she went full gremlin. The public reaction was mixed. Some laughed, others gasped, and a few genuinely feared a Chihuahua uprising. In the end, Chelsea's case reminded us that even the tiniest creatures can unleash absolute chaos. She didn't just bite people, she bit her way into British legal history. The spawn of sass and trauma. Let's talk about Prancer, the Chihuahua who single-handedly proved that hell hath no fury like a 13-pound dog with trust issues. In 2021, the internet was blessed or cursed with a viral Facebook post describing Prancer as a Chucky doll in a dog's body. His foster mom's brutally honest adoption ad read like an exorcism. Prancer hated men, children, other animals, and basically joy itself. The post went viral for its raw, hilarious truth, because who wouldn't want to adopt a creature described as a haunted Victorian child in a dog suit? But here's the plot twist. The ad worked. Despite being the canine embodiment of rage and anxiety, Prancer was adopted by someone who saw past the demon eyes and the trembling hate. He found a forever home where his neurotic energy could reign unchecked, because apparently there's someone for everyone, even if that someone needs therapy after every bark. The meme storm that followed turned Prancer into a cult hero. He became the face of all misanthropic pets everywhere, an icon for anyone who's ever said, "Don't touch me," to both humans and sunlight. While other dogs got modeling gigs or movie deals, Prancer got what he truly deserved: internet immortality as the patron saint of emotional damage. And there you have it. Do you have a dog? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.